Hello, mech fans. This is Duncan Fisher. Hold on firmly to your mana potions, fireballs, and familiars, because you are tuning in to your regularly scheduled episode of the First Circuit Podcast.
Welcome to episode 150 of the First Circuit Podcast. Tonight we have a special guest, FlyingDebris, artist for Catylist Games Labs and Piranha. Our hosts tonight are normally Ian.
Hey.
And Biter.
Lark.
And myself, OldBot10025. We're going to be talking about everything about Battletech art, Catylist Games Labs, Piranha Games, and everything from there. So, take it away, Ian.
Oh, Bob, you're offloading your responsibilities on me. That's not a good sign. Anyway,
I
one
think
episode.
he did quite well.
Hey.
Leave on a good note.
Yeah.
For an old Bob, that's
That's a good thing, right?
impressive.
That's a good thing.
Anyway,
Everyone's
it's
recording
episode
this time.
100 and episode 150 of the First Circuit Podcast. FlyingDebris, thank you very much for being here with us on this
Thank you for inviting me.
special episode. So first things first, who are you and how might people know you?
Well, I've been drawing mechs for a long time at this point. Most of my art that is probably recognizable would be for Mechwarrior Online and a lot of book covers for Catylist Games Labs, Battletech.
Mm-hmm.
Done a lot of interior stuff for them as well. Also made a lot of memes that have probably been floating out there for a while now.
Oh, I love the bunny meme. That is awesome. Every time I see it, I laugh. Actually, I bust up laughing seeing that one. And I didn't know who did it until I looked at your TV and art page. I'm like, oh my god, he did it!
And I just kind of dabble here and there, and just my artwork just kind of gets in all sorts of places.
That's cool.
Including on the box of one of the Battletech box sets, right?
Yes.
Did I meet
Must
you
say
at?
that is,
Sorry, go
that
ahead.
is my favorite box set of the Catalyst lineup, and it probably has my favorite box cover art as well. So
Yeah, definitely.
The Atlas one.
yes,
Did I meet you at MechCon? Do you have like a booth at MechCon or something that you were showing off your artwork?
I think so, yes, but I think I also was standing behind you when you were playing one of the demo at the time of
Okay.
Mechwarrior 5. I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah. Basically, I was talking. I forgot what artist it is. It was for the box sets, but it was for the newer ones, the basic and advanced. Did you do those too, or what? Or was that someone else?
That may have been someone else.
Okay. So you're
Like
standing.
The
Sorry.
last box set cover I did probably would have been the Atlas one, and then I did the cover for the Clan Kickstarter that has the Mad Cat on the cover.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And so you're standing behind me, huh? Just going. It's like that.
Yeah, like you're I think you were in the little side room or something where we had the computer set up with the demos,
Okay.
and I remember you were there playing. So.
Okay. Yeah, great artwork. We're actually looking through the artwork now, and yeah, the Atlas cover that was pretty cool. Actually, that was really neat. Like that. Good job on that, by the way. I mean, I can do stick figures, and that's about it. I hail to you guys. Oh my god, you guys are so cool doing this kind of stuff. But go on. Sorry.
oh god, if you wanna take it back over, Bob.
No, go ahead, man. I'm just inserting some things, man. I'm in a happy place right now, so it's all good.
Right, so you already told us earlier, but FlyingDebris, can you tell us how your name came to be?
Oh, that. So a very long time ago, back in the days of the Sega Genesis, I had a game called Road Rash, and little kid me decided to rename player A into FlyingDebris Guy as sort of like a tongue-in-cheek making fun of my own poor skills at the game. I hit the road signs all the time, which sent my little motorcyclist flying down the track. And it just kind of stuck, and I kept using it, and it just kind of got to a point where I used it so long there was no point in discontinuing the use of the name, and it just kind of worked. I don't know.
I get it.
I just like the name.
Nice.
It's always fascinating to have guests on here and hear the story how their username came to be. It's always something fun. So, what's your relationship with Catylist Games and Piranha Games?
Piranha Games, I'm a full-time employee there. I'm their concept artist. With Catylist Game Labs, it's more like freelance illustration stuff. So I work full-time for Piranha, and then I occasionally do like stuff on the side for Catylist.
What's it like to work for like Piranha Games? I'm curious. All the people we actually had on, we never actually asked that. Basically, like, I'm sure it's not like a dictator or anything, but just for,
No.
what's it like, type thing.
It's a game studio. I don't know how else to put it. It's a game studio. Typical game studio stuff.
So like, what? You're full time, but what's the actual kind of like? Do you have a certain number of hours you're expected to work? Certain amount of artwork you're supposed to produce? I'm not familiar with
I mean, you
what the
have.
concept artist is supposed to do.
Well, I mean, you have general like goals to meet, artwork that needs being done. You have people that are like, "Hey, Alex, we need X, Y, or Z." So you just get to it.
Yeah. So
Um,
like, what kind of concept art do you do for Piranha Games? Like, is it you're usually working on like concept art for new mechs? Are you doing art for the site? What kind of artwork do you normally do for them?
a little bit of everything. Like, you know, uh, I did all the mechs, but like, they also need concepts for like buildings, for characters, character portraits, that sort of thing. Um, Something might need like hashing out vehicle design, this, that, and something else.
And obviously that was for like MechWarrior 5.
hmm
Okay, okay, and on MechWarrior Online, did you doing those or?
I think I've probably done like some non-mech stuff for MechWarrior Online. I did a few skins earlier on too.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, for MechWarrior Online, it was mostly mechs.
And then the freelance work for Catalyst Game is basically a free time hobby activity.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'll usually get some email from Brent, and it's like, "Hey Alex, would you like to work on this?" And I'll be like, "Yes," and then I'll just hop on it. I
Kind
don't
of.
Like they
tend to.
commission
I
you
have a
piece
very
by piece.
informal pipeline, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. They commission you piece by piece, though, right? I imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And not to pry too much, you don't have to answer this or anything else. What is like the commission cost for a piece of art, like say on a box set or something like that?
yeah.
I mean, you don't have to answer that, so
Mm.
it's all
Yeah,
good.
I think I'd rather not.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I was just curious because like a lot of people, like always ask artists like what do you want? Well, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue, type thing. So
Well, a more broad
Yeah.
question is, yeah, obviously you're working full time and you work with Catalyst Games Labs, but you don't do commissions for the public or anything. It's all just in a professional setting.
I
More or
mean,
less.
like sometimes I might like dabble in stuff, but usually I'll just if I'm doing stuff outside of that, it's usually just for funsies type stuff.
okay, funsies.
All right. So one of the most loaded questions: how did you get started in your career path, and with
Ah,
digital art in particular?
oh, digital art in particular. Okay, well I can
I
answer
mean,
that one
feel free to give us the
easily.
full story if you
Yeah.
if you just want to go.
With digital art, it kind of came down to um, I was in art school. I got a tablet and I realized painting directly into Photoshop is way more convenient than actually having to bother with paint, and I could undo and I could use layers. And it just kind of went from there because I was not very good with paint. Um, Although I did start off with like at my base, I did start off, you know, drawing with pencils. Like that was kind of how I started. And like I think growing up, I would when I first started dabbling with digital, it was mostly drawing in pencil, scanning it into the computer, and then using a mouse and Photoshop to like add colors, touch it up, all this sort of stuff. And then when I realized, hey, if I have a tablet, I could just paint directly into Photoshop. I could just cut out the hassle of having to scan it, and it just kind of went from there. As far as like how I got into like my career, I guess. Let's see. I kind of started off. Wait, do you mean like in terms of in BattleTech in particular, or video game industry and illustration in general?
Just whatever you want to talk about.
Illustration in general first.
So let's just go from you finish art college, and where do you go from there?
Oh, let's see. Applied to a whole bunch of places, didn't get any bites. Ended up moving out to LA to like.
I'm sorry.
And sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
For moving up to LA.
oh yes.
Yeah, I'm from California. I know.
Yes. Well, that place really drove a hatred of the, getting parking tickets. A lot of parking tickets. Street cleaning was the bane of my existence over there. But anyway, I went to like a little art college over there called Nomon. That did like a bunch of concept art classes a la carte and all that stuff. And I figured so many industry positions were over there, it was more likely for me to find a job over there than anywhere else. And so I spent 7, 8, 9 months over in LA taking these classes, and in the meantime I'm like dabbling in mods and stuff, like joining mod teams, doing doodles for people, that kind of stuff. I eventually got a bite on one of my applications and ended up getting a job with Day One Studios out in Chicago. And they were the ones that had done like Mech Assault and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, I ended up going there. And I'd say like, maybe like a year or so into that, I was still doing like stuff on the side, like, little commissions for small projects. I ended up doing like a few designs for Cthulhu Tech back in the day.
Cthulhu Tech.
Yeah.
Want to like freshman on that? Like I forgot what that was all about actually. I'm like, I
was
know
like,
the name, but that's about it.
It was an RPG that was trying to do stuff like mixing, elements of Evangelion, elements of Lovecraft, and kind of meshing those two together, and like a little bit of like, I don't know. It was Evangelion, Lovecraft, and I forget what else kind of mixed together.
Geez.
A little bit of Macross, I suppose.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of a mishmash.
That's crazy.
But, like, I did some mech designs for them, and like the art director at the time, Mike Valancourt, he was asking me, "Hey, are you going to go to Gen Con?" And like I was practically broke at the time. Like I was living in like a tiny little apartment, had no money, and I was like, nah, I don't know. And I just kept waffling on it for about a year, and then finally was like, fine, I'll go. And I head over to Gen Con, and it turns out that, and I was going to be, I guess, expected to hang out at the booth the entire time. And it turns out that, by some happenstance or whatever, his Cthulhu Tech ended up switching publishers from, I think, Mongoose to Catylist. And that was like 2 weeks before the convention. And I didn't know anything about Catylist at the time. Like up to that point, like it'd been years since I'd thought about Battletech, because that was mostly something that I was super into during like high school
Mhm.
and middle school and stuff, and like I kind of waned off around college, and like my last knowledge of Battletech was like, oh yeah, it got handed off from like FASA to FanPro to WizKids, and
Yeah.
I don't know who owns it now. Is it Catylist? Does Catylist know? I don't know who they are.
I think Catylist owns the games, like the role playing games, and then Microsoft owns the online game rights.
Yes.
But then you could lease them, which is what Piranha's doing, and then and then the boogeyman comes in, like what a guy comes in and tries to sue you. Basically, I forgot who they are actually.
But
Oh, I'm just
Yeah.
describing
Yeah.
what I knew at the time.
Yeah.
But-
with
Okay.
Flying Debris story though, what was it? Because you suddenly find actually you're going to be in a booth, and actually it's going to be for Catylist Labs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get there. I have my little laptop and my drawing tablet, and I was just originally just kind of brought the drawing tablet and the laptop just to kill time, and I'm like looking around at the other people in the booth, and I'm like reading the name tags. And I'm like, huh, those names look very familiar. And it kind of dawned on me, like, after spending a little time in the booth and like eavesdropping on conversations, that it was like, oh crap, Catalyst is made out of a whole bunch of like ex-FASA people.
Mm.
Oh crap. So I started doodling like right there. I just started like drawing some mech stuff, ended up getting Brent's attention, and within like a few months or so after that, I start getting like commission type work from him to do, and yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there. Like it was mostly work I was doing on the side from my normal corporate work at the time, and I'd say like my biggest amount of work was probably between '09 and 2011, because there was like a span of time where I just had gone pure freelance, and I was just just cranking out book covers and that kind of stuff. And then like late 2011 was when I got picked up by Pirana Games, and then like after that it was mostly working on Mechwarrior Online.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then Mechwarrior 5 with buildings and tanks. And did you do like any of the infantry? Because I saw like on your DeviantArt page you have a lot of like infantry picks.
I did not do the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. That's all. Okay.
From your story, though, I just imagine a piece of advice people might take away. If you want a job at a certain company, just take your drawing tablet, go to their convention, sit in front of their booth, and start drawing their stuff. And
I see,
honestly, conventions are actually a great place.
Yeah, they are actually.
You can just go up to, the art directors, the CEO, whatever, and just shoot the breeze with people. And it's a great place to network.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
Particularly if you can actually draw a half decent locust.
Yeah. I would definitely not get hired then. Definitely not get hired. Okay.
So when and how did you get started with drawing in your childhood and teenage years? Is it just something you always did, or was there a certain point that got you into it?
Yeah, my mom put pencils and crayons in my hands like at probably 3 years old, give or take, and it just never quite stopped. Like if you actually look at some of the drawings I did when I was 4, it was pretty much the same kind of stuff. It was a bunch of exploding cars covered in guns and like that kind of stuff. And jet planes shooting little tracers at each other.
God.
For some reason, I drew a lot of crashing monorails. I don't know why. But little Alex spent a lot of time, sitting on floors with a whole bunch of loose leaf kind of scattered in front, with a lot of mechanical pencils and just like drawing stuff while the adults talked. I think my my getting into mechs was kind of a product of my uncle having got um, Mechwarrior 2 Mercenaries as part of like a package deal with his video card,
Hmm.
and had decided to get the strategy guide for it. And the strategy guide happened to effectively be a TRO in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had all the Dwayne Luce artwork in there and like all the mech stats and everything. So I just like flipped through the manual. I didn't even play the game all that much. I mostly watched him play, and I'd flip through the manual, look at the art, and I'd try and like draw my own mechs and stuff like that. And it just kind of, I guess that's kind of where the bug bit me.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people that like I always talk to say, hey, yeah, how'd you get into it? Oh, MechWarrior 2, and that's usually almost everyone's response is MechWarrior 2. A couple, from 1984, a couple from like when the clans came in, that kind of stuff. But generally, it's MechWarrior 2, and yeah, a lot of people.
Also, the Sega Genesis game, the one where you
Oh,
drive
yeah.
around the Mad Cat in the
Yeah.
isometric view. That
Yeah.
one was that one had me drawing a lot of Mad Cats.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was an interesting game. Very interesting game.
I think every young Battletech fan is drawing a lot of Mad Cats. It's just such an iconic mech, and it's so comparably easy to make to distinguish from other mechs.
True.
It has a very strong silhouette.
Yeah, it's one of the few mechs I can draw where you can actually tell, oh yeah, that's a Mad Cat.
Well, B29, front end housing for the cockpit just kind of does it, I guess, too, right? Or B17. No, it should be 29, I think. Okay. That's a front cockpit. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So on your DeviantArt page, you have a lot of stuff that's not straight up Battletech related. Are you still doing non-Battletech art, or is it just Battletech at this point?
Oh yeah, I do non-Battletech art. Mostly it's like, for fun type stuff. Like I've done a bunch of Brigador fan art for shits and giggles.
I see there's a bunch for concept art for Megabots.
Oh yeah. I did. I helped them out some time ago. It was pretty fun. Shame how it went.
Yeah.
And some of the designs looked it had like Battlefield 2042. Is that one of your inspirations?
I really did enjoy Battlefield 2142. I mean, like, I kind of by default really, I'd say like if left to my own devices, the kind of mechs I like to draw usually look like tank turrets on legs type approach. That's just kind of my personal taste, I suppose.
That explains the Urbies. So you mentioned you're using Photoshop and a drawing tablet. Are you using any kind of other software, and what kind of drawing tablet do you use?
I used to originally just use like a little Intuos 3 Wacom tablet, but these days I use a Cintiq, like full blown like drawing monitor type thing. But yeah, mostly just straight up Photoshop.
Yeah, I'm noticing like some of your things on DeviantArt. You did the Interstellar Explorations cover, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one looked beautiful. Like how you actually added all the different people in there, and then also the Battlemaster shooting with I think that's a Savannah hovercraft or something, and then the infantry on the bottom with power armor. Really cool. Really good job on that. I definitely like that
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah, that's very inspirational. It just has that like Succession Wars feel to it, basically. Very nice.
Yeah, that was one of the art goals, I guess, from Brent for doing that cover. Like he really wanted to get that old 3025 feel to it.
It then also did you have some guy holding coffee with mechs in the background on a
Oh
street,
yeah.
and that is just for me, I love seeing the back things besides mechs. Like in BattleTech, like I liked seeing, also did the Outwards Alliance where they're having two chainsaws
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
arena. So that's cool. I
Oh,
love that stuff. You know.
that was that was for the Periphery handbook, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
That was some of the earlier stuff that I did for Catalyst, and yeah, no, that was fun to do. I really enjoyed doing
Yeah,
those.
yeah, I just love seeing that stuff besides mechs. Mechs are cool, don't get me wrong, but I love to go back into the life of who's out there and that kind of thing. And the Perfume book was awesome. The chainsaw battle, that was cool. Sorry,
I
go.
don't even know like I don't even remember if I actually got art notes to do that or just
You just
did
did
that
it.
'cause I thought it would look Periphery.
It pretty much is, man. It pretty much is. That's how it is. Like in the backwater worlds, like out there. Okay, you have a chainsaw, attack him. That's all I got. Oh my god, yeah. Looking at it now, it's like, god damn, that's just crazy. And the guy's
Yeah.
drinking, you know.
I also just like throwing jokes and visual puns into stuff if I have time.
Yeah, you have rock, paper, scissors, I think.
Yeah.
Rock, paper versus to the
The
death.
great communicator.
Yeah, the great communicator, like, to the death. That's cool. That is awesome. I love it.
Which is just a throwback to the old Doom comic, the one that gave us Rip and Tear.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
Chainsaw, the great
And,
communicator.
and then you have a guy with a foam hand with the name the Great Communicator, like as a fan.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Oh my god.
So,
Sorry.
one thing just seeing this art is like, what part do you enjoy drawing the most when you're doing art, and vice versa? Also, what do you dislike the most when putting together your artwork?
The part I dislike the most is the middle part where it doesn't look like it's ever going to come together and it's just taking forever. The funnest parts are at the very beginning and at the very end.
Mm.
Like at the very beginning when everything's like raw sketches and you're just kind of doing whatever and exploring. So much fun, very dynamic and everything. And then when you have to like try and corral that in and have it make sense, it's like, this is a chore.
And all right, now I have to commit. Oh gosh, is it
Yeah,
actually going to turn out? Oh, is it going to turn out? Oh, it's turning out. Oh, there it
yeah.
is.
And
Yeah.
then right at the very end, when you're doing all the fun stuff like explosions, battle damage, lasers, like little inside jokes and text and all that stuff, that's when it starts getting fun for me again. Like I'd say the most fun drawings I have are like when I lay something out, something gets drawn or whatever, and I just keep coming back to the pictures like I could throw in something else here. What can I throw in here? And then like I just go and noodle in like some tiny little extra detail is either, some little joke or some little extra bit of flavor in the drawing, whatever, and just try and pack those in when I can.
Mm.
That's probably the fun part for me. Um, like trying to get something like a laser burn across, a piece of armor look like it's cooling on one end and still hot on the other, or an explosion goes off near water and like drawing all the tiny little, water impacts is like the shrapnel is hitting the surface. Like that's the kind of stuff that really, I enjoy at the very end.
Yeah. On that sort of note a little, I feel like, yeah, we of course want to focus a bit on the battle mechs, but you do a lot of like the meme images and stuff as well. And I was curious, like, what was like your first meme that you drew? When did it all start?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Okay. Actually, I do know. It would probably be the probably the Atlas with the first,
Oh
the
god,
old
that's the
one,
best one. That is so cool.
the one where he's firing a PPC, like the old one. That would have been like '06, I think. That was probably my first foray into like just creating stuff that ended up becoming memes. I don't think I have anything older than that spread around it.
Right. So you went out with a bag, just like I discovered memes, and suddenly there's burning furries everywhere.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be a meme. I drew it. I was just taking the piss. Like,
Yeah. Who's that guy with the bunny ears and he's holding some rat named Brownie?
oh,
I don't know who that is.
I was just drawing, some sort of brony stereotype holding a Sergal, I believe they are called, which
Oh.
was some other weird thing that was going on at the time, and yeah, it was
Funny as hell.
I think it was during the height of the brony pandemic, and I started seeing bronies popping up in Battletech, and I'm like, this cannot stand. I am sick and tired of all these brony avatars crapping up the place. So I'm like, fine, I'm gonna draw full-blown shit post. There's a splash image.
It's a famous one. A lot of people use that one, by the way. A lot of people use this just for funny stuff, and you're famous, man.
Yeah. And it's all in good fun. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
hate nobody.
I know.
I was just, I'm a shit poster at heart.
Well, there you go.
Right, so besides ancient internet history, what are your major inspirations?
The usual stuff like, aliens, Ghost in the Shell, a lot of animes, a lot of sci-fi stuff. I don't know. I can't really claim anything that hasn't probably been claimed before. I am a fan of the work of Mark Harrison. He did stuff like Glimmer Rats. You might know him as the guy who did the book covers for the those 40K graphic novels that are about like the Titan legions.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you've ever seen those, like he did like this amazing, completely wrong but amazing cover of like one of those warlord titans, like kind of crossing over a wall, and it's got like all these tracers flying up at it. Amazing shot. The scale is totally off, but it's 40K. It doesn't really matter.
Everything's off in 40K. Trust me, man.
Yeah.
Playing that game, it's crazy. Everything is off.
But it was an amazing shot, and his artwork is fairly inspirational to me, and his work in Glimmer Rats really did give me an appreciation for like making interesting muzzle flashes for guns.
Okay.
And yeah. Let me see what else. I mean, I guess the works of like Kazushiro Otomo, the Akira guy, for giving me that appreciation for like smoke, dust, impact effects. Like I really love doing those. Getting like good composition just by like throwing in some good smoke trails and stuff. I really like doing that.
That's cool.
Besides commission art, how do you decide what to create? Do you just sit in front of an empty paper and start doodling, or do you have a list in your head?
Oh, yeah, that's actually real hard. Normally it's like we need X, Y, or Z, and I'll just get on it. But when it comes to doing stuff for fun, usually it starts off with I'm reading about something and something clicks in my head because it's a funny joke, or I feel like I have to get it out of my head and and actually draw it out. And that's how it happens. But yeah, I'm normally not just sitting in front of a blank paper and trying to think of what to draw. Usually it's something that just kind of strikes you, I suppose.
Okay.
You teased us a bit about your process of creating artworks earlier. Can you go into a bit more detail and maybe show us examples if you have them?
Sure.
How do you create something as beautiful as your art?
Let me get some stuff here to share.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
all right.
Ian, you should clip that sound and play it whenever where Bob makes a mistake in his intro.
There you go.
Yes.
Are you recording right now?
Of course.
Okay.
All right. Can you
Okay.
see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So this was a
that's
drawing
cool.
I did some time ago. My Pathfinder character, whatever. Like, this is kind of where I started, and it was just trying to get all of his equipment on, all that stuff. And eventually this is where it ended up.
Wow.
After doing a little bit of stealing textures from the internet and doing a lot of paint over and Photoshop and tweaking and all
Wow.
that kind of stuff to polish it out. Like, I think most of this stuff here was kind of photo bashing, like backpacks and purses and satchels and stuff like that, and kind of warping and painting over them and that kind of thing. Making the thing work.
Nice.
Let's see. This was the cover I did for the that historical Capellan book. I can't remember the name of it. It's supposed to be like Sun Tzu Liao's emperor, like hot dropping over a combat zone. That's sort of how it started, and this is where
don't
it
feel
ended
bad.
up.
No one remembers Lao anyway, so it's all good. It's all fine.
Like, I kind of develop it over to this
Wow.
point after a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see.
So for this particular example, your sketch on the right already has a background. Is that something you create yourself?
That was probably a combo of like lots of photo bashing and Photoshop. This one's just kind of an earlier version. I couldn't find the earlier version of this, so this is as far back as I saved, I guess.
Yeah.
The earliest backup I made, I suppose. Like, this was the beginning of the concept I did for the double blind cover.
Okay.
But like, I got a whole bunch of art notes that kind of changed how this one went, so it kind of turned into this.
Okay.
Which
what's that on the left-hand side, little dude?
Oh, it's like a dude on a horse with with one of those mech grappling rods for like swarming.
Yeah, wow. Wow. I thought it was like a weird looking mech or something. I'm like, what the mech is that? How small? Is that like like one of those proto mech things or something? Nice.
No.
Yeah.
Just a dude on a horse.
Okay.
And then eventually polished it off into that.
That's amazing, man. Like how you polish that off.
Well, I mean, it takes time.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, it's gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
Do you always do your sketches in some rough coloring? Do you prefer them in black and white?
Like, do you start with line art, or do you?
It depends. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. There we go. Honestly, it depends on the drawing and my mood. Sometimes I might start with, trying to collage together a bunch of photo reference or whatever in like the rough shape of what I'm trying to do, and then start painting over that. Sometimes I'll start with like making some blob or whatever, and then like kind of carving that out. Other times I might just start doodling line art. Also depends in the end like what kind of style I'm going for. Like if I'm doing something cartoony, usually I'm just starting with straight up lines. If I'm trying to do something realistic, usually might start with like importing a 3D shape into Photoshop and like painting over that, or painting over photo source collage. If I'm doing something I don't remember what I normally do like the blobs for. I guess when I'm trying to design like a new mech, I'm usually starting off with a blob
Okay.
to try and like develop the silhouette.
Yeah.
Probably
Oh,
give me something to draw and I'll draw it for you right now, actually.
Slowpoke.
Slowpoke, yes, the slowpoke. That's the meat we got.
All right.
And we mean the mech Slowpoke, not
Yeah,
the Pokemon.
yeah, not the Pokemon one.
Trying to remember how the slowpoke looks.
That's the thing, though. It's like
it's a TIE fighter with 2 legs, basically.
Yeah,
yes.
that's like a ball with legs, pretty much.
All right, let's see. Slowpoke.
So for the people listening
Whoa.
on audio, just to let you know, FlyingDebris is if you want to check out what he's doing right now, just go ahead and check out the YouTube page and you can see the video of what he's doing. So we'll try to say something for audio, I guess. So if we can.
It looks like it's just a cockpit with some vents below it and a pair of legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fighter's favorite. Okay. Does it matter like about the color? Because you got like okay, never mind. Oh wow.
Can you see me all right?
Yeah. I
Yep,
can see
we're
that.
seeing this.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Just trying to keep that reference image.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, with ostrich legs like a locust. Okay. Wow.
He does have like one little medium laser in the center.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to have one medium.
Now, how fast does this guy go? The slowpoke?
Oh, it's like these speeds.
It looks like it goes 38.
38. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Irby
urban
kind of
mech.
speeds.
Yeah. Yeah. Urban mech speeds. Nice.
It's like a 10-ton Irby with jump jets.
God, 10-tonner with jump jets. Surprised it has a medium laser or enough power to shoot it. Okay, yeah. It's just a lot easier working on Photoshop, right?
Yeah, pretty
just
much.
erase.
It's
Yeah,
just less hassle.
that's true. That is definitely true.
Are you drawing with mouse or with a pen right now?
With pen.
Then okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going straight into.
And it's interesting seeing you. Like many artists I talk to draw their sketches with basically just drawing the outlines,
Mhm.
whereas you're doing kind of full color with the grayscale.
I mean, it depends. Like sometimes I might, be doing full black. But I find it useful just to have a little bit of gray in there, so you can kind of intimate at shapes that you can develop later.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're very quick with switching the different shades of gray and
Oh yeah, that's mostly because I have my finger resting on the Alt on my keyboard to just turn the brush into a color picker. So as I'm drawing, I'm color picking from my own drawing.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Which kind of makes things nice and easy because I could just click on the background to get white, click on the darkest areas, get black or gray, and just kind of work like that.
Wow. And that's like in like 20 seconds. That's
Very good.
crazy
That's
good.
like one of the second best drawings of the slowpoke in existence already.
But see, like this is the fun part, and then like the less fun part is actually having to clean everything up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That takes time. That
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean,
sketch is quick.
that's
Cleaning up.
that's 500
that's
times better than what I can do. Jeez. Oh my god, that's nice.
And you know, like like just kind of basing off of what I'm interpreting off of the original drawing here, which let me
Yeah,
copy
that
paste
original
in so
drawing's
other
a bit.
people.
Yep.
I mean, you're seeing it from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the only one we have is from behind,
Yep.
so you get to see its huge jump jets, but not much else.
Is that the only
Yeah.
picture of the slowpoke though? That's the only picture that we have?
It's the only one I've seen.
Okay. I was just curious.
Does it have a mini?
A
No,
what?
Does it have a mini?
no. There are a
No.
couple fan-made 3D models, but
Mhm.
there's no official mini for it.
Uh,
And Bob, I believe there's one picture showing it from the front.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
I remember having a reference when I did my model on it.
I mean, I just thought that was like a Mackie prototype or something like that, from a long time ago that they just dumped like after a while. Just dumped really quickly.
Oh no, this is Liao's attempt to do a high-tech protomech,
Ah,
It's just
okay.
it's just Capellan tech. That's
Well, that's why
wasn't this Max Lau's like hobby ride or something?
right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
the
someone did
story
keep
is
it. Yeah.
the story is how Liao saw one of the Federated Sun protomechs and wanted to copy it. And they basically created a mech that was in every single category, which is kind of impressive. So you're saying you talked about how cleaning up takes a lot of time, and obviously the final parts are quite labor intensive. How much time do you generally spend per art piece?
Depends on the art piece. Like something like a full blown book cover, like splash image, full of action, backgrounds, mechs fighting, explosions, all that kind of stuff. That can take upwards of 2 weeks or more.
Wow.
But like, that's also from, being like a side project that I'm doing in my free time, kind of contributes to a lot of that.
Yeah.
But like if I'm working full time on something, probably a little bit under 2 weeks. But it also can vary depending on if the composition's just kind of coming together. Sometimes I could have two art pieces that are stylistically very similar and, very similar content, and one takes like twice as long to make as the other, simply because that drawing just maybe was not, it was trying to pull it together and clean it up and have it make sense. Just was like pulling teeth, and sometimes it's super easy.
Yeah.
It just, oh yeah, it makes sense. Everything's coming together. Everything's coming up Millhouse, whatever, and it's a breeze. But,
You don't mind if I use that
Um.
for the thumbnail, do you? Can you see me the photo of that, and I'll use it for the thumbnail?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. That'd be perfect.
I clean it up a little.
Okay. I mean, you have to clean it.
Assuming
It looks great now.
Assuming you're working on the piece of art full time, how do you usually structure your day? Do you have specific periods and then you have to take a break, or can you focus for a specific amount of time?
I just work on it. I don't have I
Another way. Sorry.
oh yeah, I'm not a very organized person. Yeah.
Another way to phrase this question perhaps would be like, do you have any issues like with burnout or anything like that? If you're working on something for, several weeks straight,
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. I'm not a machine. I draw lots of machines, but I'm not a machine. Yeah, I get like tired and stuff. I might take naps or whatever, or try and get things done as much as I can. But
ooh,
you know,
that's trying as much as you can. What do you do? I was just wondering, like, what do you do as like a stress reliever or anything like that? Do you have any
uh,
hobbies or anything like that?
uh, sometimes if I need to cleanse my palate, sometimes I will, just make doodles for fun. Um, Usually like switching up my art style, like banging out a few 5-minute sketches for fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Usually helps. Because like if I'm spending like a lot of time, say, trying to figure out how to make someone's face look good and they just look all derpy and stuff, and I'm
Hmm.
just kind of bashing my head against a rock trying to make it make sense, it feels pretty good to just put that aside for a few minutes and like do something I understand, something easy, like some funny mech drawing or whatever, and then come back to it with, fresh eyes, and I could tackle it better. Um, Sometimes just going outside.
Yeah.
you know.
And what's the south side you
Mm.
talk of?
We're not allowed
Well,
outside anymore.
only a week ago it was scorching.
God, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so glad I moved out from there. It was like 115 where I used to live. Jeez, that's too much. Too much.
But yeah, like let's see. I play a lot of Hunt Showdown when I have the chance.
Okay.
So there's that. Nothing to ease the nerves of drawing. You know, like having your nerves racked by the fear that someone's going to snipe you from a bush that you can't even see.
Mm.
Um,
Whilst hunting monstrosities, of course.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, after a while, you find out that humans are the true monsters. Mostly people
Yes.
with
No.
KDRs and like 2 and up when you're still struggling at 0.8.
So, have you ever had an actual burnout or artist block that took you like really long and took you out of commission for a while?
I wouldn't say for too long, like, but yeah, I mean, I've had burnout and stuff. Um, you just kind of deal with it. It's just something that happens if you're an artist. It's happened tons of times to me over my career. You just get back in it.
Okay.
Do you have any specific method what you do then? Or do you just push everything aside and do something completely else for a while?
Mm, Sometimes you just need a vacation.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, true.
Yeah, a vacation or, go for a walk, go for a hike, do something else, come back to it. Uh, try to do something fun. You know, you can't just plug away and destroy yourself. But
But a lot of people do actually.
yeah, and sometimes I need to listen to my own advice because a lot of times it's like, well, I got to finish this, and it's like 3 in the morning or whatever,
Mm.
and just how it goes.
Oh, speaking of which, do you have flexible work times at Piranha Games, or do you have fixed office times?
Uh, I mean, normally there's like core hour type stuff where you're expected to be uh, contactable within these hours, and pre-pandemic, I mean, it's basically like 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 uh, type work. Um, they're very good about like not putting people into crunch time.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good.
I've been in studios where that was not the case, uh, but you know, during pandemic though, it's it's harder because there's very little, you know, like psychological delineation between free time and work time. So it's something you just kind of have to work through.
Okay.
Do you have any tricks or methods how you tune yourself off of your actual work and go into your free time?
No.
Okay. So, speaking of the difference between fun and work, how does a personal project differ from a professional commission?
There's a lot less pressure. Um, like there's no like the only expectations are the ones that you set for yourself. So it kind of takes a very different different tone, and sometimes it makes it easier, and sometimes it makes it harder. Like because when it's completely open ended, you don't have that like there's something when you're getting art notes, you know, or art limitations where you've got like almost like that grit of sand that makes the pearl. Like you've got like something that you could build the idea around, you know. But like when you're just doing stuff for yourself, kind of like staring at like a blank canvas, you know, it's hard to like find that grit to like build the idea around. So it's different in that respect. But at the same time, with like no pressure, no one requires anything from this art. You're just doing it for fun. You know, you could just go and explore all sorts of goofy ideas that normally no one would pay you to do. So give and take.
Okay.
Give and take.
Yeah. Though with the missing pressure to actually finish your projects, what's your rate of completing your personal projects versus just scrapping them
Ooh.
at some point?
I have a lot of unfinished doodles that I initially intended to finish at some point, you know, sitting around on my hard drive, you know, going back for years. So, yeah, I don't even know what the rate would be, honestly.
Alright.
But yeah,
Something.
probably not a good ratio.
Mm. Something I was wondering, with your larger art pieces, are you creating all of them in solo, or are you collaborating on art pieces at some points?
For some of the book covers that I've done for Catylist, I guess the collaboration there would be that I make use of the 3D models that Catylist makes for like posing and that kind of stuff, and then like I basically paint over it and like build out the scene from there.
Okay.
I guess that would be about the extent of collaboration. I did do some drawings back when I was in Day One Studios, where I collaborated a little bit with Elliot Lilly, who was the other concept artist there at the time, where he did like some paint overs of some of my stuff, and I did some paint overs of his stuff. But yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
If you're using 3D models to basically paint over, do you post them in a 3D software, or do you just import them and post them inside of Photoshop?
So I kind of do a very hacky, butchery approach that I would not recommend. I'd recommend actually learning how to do this correctly. But you know, what I was doing was posing. Okay, erase out this part, repose it. You know, erase out all the other parts, repose it again, and then like I could somehow get, you know, a more dynamic pose out of stuff, you know, by just
A more dynamic pose. Just sometimes it might have 3 legs. Oh wait, oh that's one too many.
yeah, just kind of hacking stuff together.
So one of those cases where people should do as you say, not do as you do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do what Donnie Don't does.
You mentioned different art styles earlier.
Mhm.
Is art style, especially on projects where you don't have anything from the people who commission you, is that a conscious decision, or is that something you just figure out as you start sketching? And which one of your art styles do you prefer to do?
Depends, I guess. So, if you're working on a project, like a big project, you typically want to keep uh, a fairly consistent art style. But when it comes to doing stuff for fun, I mean, I don't know, art style can just be all over the place. I usually don't make a conscious choice on art style. I just
Uh-huh.
kind of draw what feels right, and sometimes it's just cartoony, and that's what works. If I'm like if I'm trying to make some silly meme picture or whatever, and I just want to do something fast, it's just going to be you know incredibly cartoony. If I want to develop it more, not cartoony. I don't know. I don't give it that much thought.
Okay.
Right. And for black and white pictures, so basically your more technical line art stuff versus your full color pictures, is there a different process involved in those?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Okay. Some of your pictures are black and white, more of the line art style as you see in the Battletech novels for Mac illustration. Some of your art is obviously full color, like the novel covers. There are different process how you get each of those.
A little bit, yeah. So something like a black and white illustration, like like the like the units that I did for 3085 TRO. Um, you know, those typically started with just black silhouettes and carving out and then cleaning up. Um, something like something like a full color illustration usually starts with the similar, make a blob, carve it out, and then throwing in um, start throwing in color during like the middle phase and lighting. The lighting, matters a whole lot more. Like the shadowing matters a whole lot more. Um, I'm gotta make it fit into the background. Like it starts off similar, but it finishes very differently. I guess
Okay.
would be the.
Now, like you talked about the TRL basically. Did you do that one mech? I don't know if it's in that book. Is it the one that has two LRM-20s? Looks like a walking missile boat. I can't-
Yalman?
Yeah, that one. Did you do that
Oh,
one?
no, that's 3060. That
Okay,
was
3060. Okay, never mind.
way before my time.
Good. Okay, you're on my friends list. Cool. Okay, that's fine now. Fine. That was. I think that's the joke meme of the mechs. Basically, it's like, what the hell was that?
Hey,
Okay.
we need to bring what was it, like an LRM 20 and a 15 or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. It was crazy, but it was just like two walking like missile hatches, basically.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that was crazy.
I
think
don't know what you
someone's
mean, Bob. I think it's a perfectly fine design.
Oh god.
someone did a pretty good job of it, actually. They gave it a pelvis, and it
Oh, they
looked
did.
so much better. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
That one.
definitely.
So, with mechs and stuff, does the Battletech setting provide you unique challenges and opportunities compared to other game or general universes?
Actually, yeah, like with with Battletech, you have a very consistent rule set of, what is supposed to be on this mech, how big stuff should generally be accepted to be. Like, you don't have any mechs in Battletech, barring some weird outliers. You don't get any like, giant beam cannons or whatever like you do in Gundam that,
Yeah.
can destroy an entire city or whatever.
I
Everything's
started
kind
drawing. I
Mhm.
started drawing this atlas with an energy sword, and then I was like, "Oh, wait a moment, no energy swords."
Exactly.
yeah, like you're kind of like all the equipment that's mounted on a mech is kind of, has to look vaguely practical within like military equipment constraints. You don't have anything that's like, a gigantic sniper rifle type weapon that is 3 times longer than the mech is tall. You don't have that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And like, you do have to, the limitations of the overall like body plan of, mechs have head, center torso, left torso, right torso, arms, legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or quads always have 4 legs. But,
I think. What, like, are quads
Unless
still
you shoot more.
used? I don't know if the quads are still used in BattleTech. I forgot.
oh, they're
Yeah.
still used.
Are still used?
They're still
Okay.
used.
Okay.
Even some new
Uh,
designs with the more recent novels.
Okay.
But yeah, like I find the aspects of BattleTech in terms of the overall internal consistency of the setting, um, nice to build off of. It does create some limitations, like you can't go too out there with stuff, but I enjoy it, and it does still leave a lot of room to work with, and obviously because there are many silly designs
Yep.
like the Jrnyman
Yep.
or the Hoplite or those
Chain
weird pony mechs or whatever.
Chainsaw Arena. Chainsaw Arena.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a big setting, but it's got like some internal consistency to keep you from going too crazy. And yeah, I don't know. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite settings, especially not so much because of the mechs themselves. That's what drew me in the first place. Because I was a kid and giant fighting robots are inherently cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was the draw. But like what kept me interested all these years has always been like how much the setting goes into the human element of just developing things that no sane franchise would ever bother to develop, but BattleTech did anyway. Like, oh yeah, here are all the colleges. Here are a bunch of fast food franchises.
Lore.
Here
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah. Background. Great books, by the way, too. Yeah.
Here's like a whole bunch of really deep lore. Uh, Stuff that makes almost no impact whatsoever into actual gameplay, but someone still decided to flesh it out anyway. Like that's the stuff that I love the most, honestly.
Like Triple F Burgers. Triple F Burgers, man,
Yes.
the best in the universe. Very good.
Or
But
Pharaoh beers.
Yes.
Unless you let your mech tech make them, then they're mostly terrible and poison your crew.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
And the fleshed out, the Specs Online is still one of the most impressive projects for a franchise I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Those hundreds of different paint schemes where like, why would I even need 200 different units for this one faction? And they still exist, and it's amazing.
How many paint schemes are just red and black?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. True.
And yeah, like I also, I guess one of the details that I loved, like early on, like just kind of going through TROs was always like the stupid little technical details that, you know, it was like, oh, this is a Series X laser. Okay, it's just a medium laser, but Series X. You know, like I always kind of dug those little details, I guess, of the weapons and equipment, even when it didn't make any impact in like the actual gameplay and stuff like that. And you know,
Yeah.
it's one of the reasons that I really love the stuff that the Mechwarrior 5 mods have been like up to with like Merc Tech and Pirate Tech, and you know,
Yeah,
fleshing out those differences and making it interesting.
yeah. Just hanging around in the Mechwarrior 5 modding Discord, and there's this one guy who's doing missile types,
Mhm.
and like especially missiles, and like the Mechwarrior games are one of those details you never really pay attention to. And then he just does dozens of different models for missiles that you're probably never gonna see, and the dedication in that is just amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Going back a bit to career questions, how do you
Mhm.
market yourself? Do you even still market yourself?
I don't market myself that much. Mostly I just kind of put my head down and work. I kind of have about as much work as I can handle right now. So I don't really market myself that much beyond that.
Okay.
Don't do what I do. Market yourself more, but
Nice.
yeah.
Even if you don't market yourself, maybe you know from your circle, what tips would you give aspiring artists how to market themselves? Do you have anything?
Tablet and a Gen Con, right?
Tablet and Gen Con, probably super handy.
Mm.
Probably if don't go to art school. It's very expensive. Try and learn it yourself, so much cheaper, and your employers probably don't care if you went to art school or not if you can draw good. So just learn to draw good yourself, save yourself the debt. That's probably the best advice I can give, unless you really, really want to. But like,
Yeah, that's
watch
just one
some
of.
YouTube tutorials or something.
Yeah. I feel like that's just one of those pieces of advice that works for every single field that's tech based. Where like, yeah, you can go to university and study for 3 years, but ultimately, anything you really need to know, you're learning yourself anyway.
Yeah.
And your degree is just, hey, employer, I have a degree, please hire me. And once you've got your first job, no one cares anymore, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like once you get like a little bit of work experience, like you just kind of are in the industry and it's a lot easier to get work. That initial foot in the door is kind of the hard part.
Mm.
Like I I just kind of stumbled into it on accident, honestly. Um, I I am, like I said, I am not a very organized person, uh, and I just kind of bumbled into it by just, I guess, right time, right place. But like, uh, try to find something that you're passionate about. Try to, you know, get yourself that niche and get yourself noticed by like, you know, people that are interested in that kind of thing. And eventually people start paying you to do that. I mean, that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
don't let yourself be exploited. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
definitely
a piece of
don't die
advice.
of exposure.
Yeah.
Don't die
Yeah.
of exposure. If someone's like, "Ah, you get exposure," don't do it.
Yeah.
Um, but
So,
yeah,
do you, off the top of your head, do you have one or two art pieces that you are most proud of throughout your career so far?
I'd say most proud of, I guess, would be that that BattleTech box cover with the Atlas.
Yeah.
Mostly because I saw it get blown up like 15 feet tall at Gen Con, so that was really
Ah,
neat. And I never expected to actually end up, you know, on the box cover of Battletech. I guess other one I'm proud of, I guess most recently would be the some of the stuff I've done for the reprints of the like the stack pull books that that
Okay.
Catylist recently commissioned me to do some covers for.
You mean like Mercenary Star or Decision at Thunder Rift?
Stackpole is the Warrior.
Oh, that's
trilogy.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
The Warrior Trilogy.
Yeah, I
Right.
did the Warrior Trilogy covers, and trying to remember what it was the two Stackpole trilogies. I think one of them is currently, like, the covers are, I mean, the books are out. The covers are available. The other one, I don't think they're out yet. So
Okay.
you'll see those covers sometime in the near future, I guess.
I think Ian's bringing them up right now. There you go. Wow. Warrior in Guard. Oh, wow. Those are beautiful.
Oh, are those out?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that one.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the one just below it to the left. Actually, if you click on that one.
Oh, which one?
Oh, damn. You missed it.
Was it Riposte? Did you have the...
No. It was right below that one. Right below Coop.
Yeah, the Lethal Heritage.
Yeah, Lethal Heritage.
Okay. The small. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's a Phoenix Hawk with some elementals on it, huh?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Nice. That's beautiful.
I did that one. I did the one with Victor Davion's dire wolf getting ambushed by the cliff. Yeah. And I did the one of Felon Kel, like, rushing the comm guard on Tukiyid. I don't know if that one's there.
Oh,
Can't
no.
find it right now.
Yeah.
Were you involved with the shrapnel?
Oh,
Did you work with shrapnel?
Actually, scroll down a little
Up.
on the main page. Right below that one.
Lost Destiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
That's cool. Looks beautiful, man. I mean, just damn. Amazing.
2K is just one of those settings where most art pieces that come out of it are amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay. I think we're gonna go into the broader Mechwarrior questions, like just real quick fire questions that we have.
Sure.
It's just one-liners. You don't have to go into detail like anything else, but your favorite part of lore or favorite timeline.
I kind of bounce around. Like, I like the pre-clan grittiness of of like early Succession Wars type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the equipment selection is really sparse.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of equipment that, in my opinion, probably should have always been available and never kind of became lost tech, but it's just the designers hadn't thought to include it yet.
Okay.
So I like all the toys of, like, post-Jihad era, because I like playing around with, like, plasma cannons and hardened armor and, all that fun business, Thunder Augmented and MMLs and all that stuff. But, like, I kind of, my favorite type of Battletech is sort of hobo mode type scrappiness, where, like, I guess, to use an example, if you're playing, like, Rogue Tech for the HBS Battletech game, when your mechs are just cobbled together out of, like, half pirate gear and
Yeah.
You know, just stuff kind of scrap, like just jury rigged together and quirky and stuff. That's
But
kind of my jam. That's
Okay,
what
that's
I
cool.
like to draw.
side
Yeah.
tangent. What is your favorite start in Rogue Tech?
My favorite start. I really like Tortuga, I guess.
Mm.
Oh, so not the primitive start?
No, pirate start.
All right, correct. And then opposite, what's your least favorite timeline in Battletech?
Um, I guess probably the mid 3050s, I suppose, because that was kind of when like Clan Tech was just kind of unchecked and bloaty, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you
yeah.
got like a lot. Actually, I'd say late 3050s to early 3060s, where you had a lot of the goofier designs or stuff that was just
Yeah.
straight cheese with you know no quirks or anything like that to kind of
True.
give it flavor.
All right, so favorite and least favorite faction. Be careful what you say.
Ooh, favorite and least favorite faction.
Canopus, right?
Ah,
Canopus. That's your favorite, right?
God, I don't know. Like I like if you could say Mercenaries are a faction, I would pick Mercenaries in general
I would say so.
over
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Fair.
Least favorite. It's hard to say. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to piss anyone.
Just say Lao. It's fine. No one likes Lao anyways. It's all good.
All right, I'm just writing that down for Space China.
Space Dragon.
All right, let's move on then. What's your favorite character in the whole Battletech universe? Oh, if you can't
Oh,
decide on one, give me a top 3, something like that.
I'd say my favorite would have to be Joanna.
Okay. Okay.
She's just so mad and
Yeah.
grumpy and just a total jerk the entire time. But like you can't help but root for her because she's so good at being a jerk. Like she can't help it. Like usually you have when you've got like a protagonist that you're covering, the writer at least usually tries to soften them or kind of turn things in such a way where like it shows them justified in their actions and all this kind of stuff. But like Joanna's just a jerk the entire time, and I love her for it.
At least she's like consistent, right? She's definitely consistent then. Yeah.
She applies that jerkiness consistently, and it's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
All right. Do you have a character that you just hate the absolute most? Besides Catherine Steiner-Devere, because that's the default answer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hate any particular character. I mean, some are kind of Mary Sue-ish.
Or Gary
Like
Stewart, yeah.
I don't think I hate any particular character that much.
Okay. It's fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. It's fair enough. Yeah.
And then the probably most difficult question: what's your most and least favorite mech?
Most favorite. Like I really love the crab mechs because I just like that kind of squat body
Okay.
plan type, shape. And I like goat-legged and chicken-legged mechs a lot.
Okay.
I like the urban mech because it's funny. It's the humble little urban mech. I like the Charger and the Banshee for similar reasons because they're trash mechs by default that can still get you if you use them right,
Yeah.
like wrecking balls, I suppose. Least favorite. I'd say mechs that are just kind of boring. I don't know, like the Hellstar, kind of a boring mech. It's just 4 PPCs, 4 clan ER PPCs. Like, The Masakari, on the other hand, almost the same exact loadout, way more interesting. Mostly because you stuck that LRM in there.
Yeah.
And it's not completely heat neutral now, you know? Like, I guess mechs like the Hoplite, like, I kind of dislike from the standpoint of the OG art. You have no idea what the legs are doing, and it makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
But it's also endearing for that reason, and that's what makes it memorable. So I don't know if I could say I hate it. I don't know.
So do you have one mech that from an art perspective you just absolutely hate?
I wouldn't say absolutely hate, but like, I'd say that the things that bug me are like mechs where the legs don't make any sense, or are just a little too goofy. Like, um, I would say a little too goofy would be like the Ursus, which is literally a giant Punisher skull with arms and legs. Probably doesn't really make sense for clanners to make that. Or, you know, some mechs that just have really, really awkward looking legs that don't make any sense at all. Like the thing wouldn't be able to walk or turn, you know, based off of how it looks like. I think the blood kite, like how does that work? I don't know. But I wouldn't say I hate them. I want to fix them, I guess.
Yeah.
Or see someone else fix them so that they look like they can move properly, I suppose.
Okay.
But no, I don't hate them.
All right, and then the final question in this segment: what is your favorite Battletech / Mechwarrior franchise game?
Well, I might be. I don't want to self-plug Mechwarrior 5, I guess, but
It's
I
okay
don't
if
know,
you do,
like,
man. It's fine.
but you know, from having worked on it, you know, it's hard because you see how like the sausage is made and all that stuff. But like, I would say as far as nostalgia goes, you know, it still goes back to MechWarrior, you know, 2 Mercs or 3 for me, because that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
And to be fair, Mechwarrior 3 is still the prettiest game.
4.
No shade thrown on Mechwarrior 5, but Mechwarrior 3 is still prettier.
it had a vibe, I guess.
Yeah. And it was
But,
crazy impressive for its time.
Yeah, for the time was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, being able to plow through buildings is really great in MechWarrior 5, and to see your hands come up as you plow through your hands.
Yeah, see your hands where you shoot your own arms because you're targeting that 3 meter in front of you and the beams just go across. Fun things.
Yeah.
All right, so Bob is just pinging me in Discord the whole time because he's scared we're gonna run long. So moving on towards the wrap-up segment, do you have anything or anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to tease that's upcoming?
Got nothing to tease other than, you know, the couple of covers coming out for the for the other trilogy reprints.
Okay.
And I guess shout out to Shimmering Sword, shout out to Bradigus, shout out to the BTG guys, shout out to Tech, shout out to Pirate Tech,
Cool.
Shout out to Living Legends. Good work, all you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And then where can people find you? Do you have
You can
any
find me on
social life?
Twitter, Discord. That's pretty much it. Or just email me, I guess.
Okay.
And as always, Bob is going to put the links in the description. So
Yes.
if you want to take a look at FlyingDebris' artwork, he's got a really good gallery on his DeviantArt. So all of that is going to be down there in the description.
Yep.
And with that, do you have any final words, anything else you want to say to the audience while you still have their attention?
Not really. Not really. But Gone Next is fun.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Fair enough,
Yeah.
man. That's good words.
Fair
Just that's good words.
In that case, thank you very much for being here
Take
with
it
us
easy.
again. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Thanks for having
looking
me on.
forward to anything else you create in the future. And yeah, good luck with anything the team is up for with Mechwarrior 5, I guess.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks,
See you,
Reese.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Bye.
bye.
That was
Oh, he actually.
Okay.
150 of the First Circle podcast. Our guest has just evaporated, but that doesn't matter because we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning into this special episode of the First Circle podcast, and see you for episode number 151, where we catch up on the actual Battletech and Macro Online news.